The players, the personalities who come from around the world to play professional soccer in the United States.
Go, go, USA! Oh, it's incredible!
In a world where some call it football, football, or soccer, they dare to call it foosball. One thinks New York is blue, the other thinks New York is red. Soccer in America from a German perspective. Let them put some sauerkraut on your hot dog and join them for the Schnitzel Boys USA Hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that. Two heads, two schnitzel heads at the same time. Right.
Two heads are better than one, right? You know what they say?
Oh, we're live. You are still in Germany.
I am still. This is the very last thing I'm doing in the motherland before I hop on a plane and fly back. By the time these are on the podcast universe, I'll probably be either over the Atlantic or I'll be back home because I'm doing this, throwing my iPad in my bag and rushing the airport and flying back home to the home of the brave, land of the free, whatever it's called. What's it called again?
Yeah, that's about it.
It's been 3 weeks. What's America again? Land of the, what was it again?
It's the land of the free and the home of the brave. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, you know, there's many things, but that's the
No, but my long ass sojourn comes to an end.
Your long ass. So how are your feelings? Are you excited, sad to leave, excited to come back? A mix of both. You are feeling in between. You're going to get on the plane. You're going to cry at some Reese Witherspoon movie, like I tend to do when I come back from the homeland.
Oh, who's that?
Alexa.
She's like, sorry.
She thinks it's all about her.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to find a Reese Witherspoon. Maybe national security.
Can you say it again?
How's Alexa? Your Alexa's chiming in there.
You keep talking. I'm going to turn her off.
There's that movie with Reese Witherspoon and Sofia Vergara, right? Security or something like that. I'll probably watch that. Reese Witherspoon.
I was specifically thinking of Sweet Home Alabama, which is what made me cry on a plane once. I was projecting this on you. I am extremely easily emotional when I watch movies in airplanes, especially international international flights through many time zones. I don't know. There's just something about it where like I'm gonna be like, oh, this movie's amazing, and then it's like I'll recommend it to other people, or I'll watch it again. I'll be like, oh no, that was just a plane thing.
Bjorn, does that have the same effect if you're watching Reese Witherspoon's Nashville SC play? If you watch Nashville SC in the air, would you cry? And then when you watch it when you land, is it like a less impressive, less emotional experience?
I mean, I have not tried that. I can't say one way or another. I've never watched Nashville SC while on a plane. So I don't know.
Cutting that Reese Witherspoon sitting in her owner's box every now and then, and you're like, there she is, Elle Woods, Legally Blonde, doing it again. She's a billionaire. She's apparently a billionaire or something. I just saw a video on her last night about she owns a book club, and then she has the right of first refusal of all the books.
She owns a book club? What do you mean? You get a billionaire from owning a book club? That can't be it. That cannot be her main source of income. That's not how she made $1 billion from. She's running this fierce book club.
No, she's like Oprah. She has like a platform.
Every week the members are trembling. Oh my God, we got to pay dues again. Reese is she's got income goals. She's gonna make us pay.
No, I don't know what it is, but she had some sort of a platform where she told, kind of like Oprah. She's like got involved with books, and then
she has an on. Oh, okay, I misunderstood completely. Okay,
and then she, I guess, the most popular books Oh, I think it's a relationship with authors or publishers because she has right of first refusal of all the most popular books to make into movies.
Oh, okay. So she's got a thing going.
She's got
All
things,
right.
so she's crushing it. And then she invests in Nashville SC. She's crushing it. Seba S. Stefan is back. I am back. Seba.
I like her. I mean, I have no opinion about her as a person, but
yeah,
I've enjoyed her work, especially when on a plane.
Yeah, I mean, I like Reese Witherspoon. I'm a big fan of Reese Witherspoon. She's one of those great actresses who hasn't aged a day. I think her daughter looks like her, and she hasn't aged. And I don't know how they do it. That's why I can't really be an actor, because I age very aggressively, and none of them age. They just stay still. I'm like, well, I guess I don't have those skills.
The staying still? Well, but I mean, you don't know yet. We'll see what happens, right? You don't know how you're going to age. You're not old yet.
I age like men in the 60s aged. I look like, in the 60s, 30, like people in their late 30s looked old. And that's kind of my skill set, doing that. Doing that. Seba S. Straight to the thing.
He's cutting right to the core of it.
So,
I mean,
like you, Bjorn, the MLS season is over for me as well.
Yeah.
The New York Red Bulls have been eliminated.
Yours was worse. Yours was worse. Yours was worse than ours. I mean,
I don't know about that.
I said this to you via text. If you were to script for a movie or whatever, the most painful penalty shootout, this was about it. You couldn't do much better than this.
Yeah, like Seba asks, old Metro Stars way to lose. Red Bulls should get an award for finding different ways to lose every single year.
I think that's well put. Yeah, I mean, this was a tough. No, it's like you had two chances. You got two chances to win it by converting a penalty. The first one is your golden boy, can do no wrong. And he sends the keeper the other way, then hits the post. I mean,
yeah, he did wrong.
That's pretty upsetting.
No,
I mean, he looked in the game. I don't know. In the game, he looked like his confidence perhaps had become too high. Like he was taking shots that he shouldn't have taken. And
that's John. He's got swagger. I support it. I support the confidence. I support him playing. Listen, the big story for me is this. It's not. Like on Twitter, what's his face? Matt Doyle, I think it was like, I just talked to an old Metro Stars head, or an old Red Bulls fan. And he says, this is the third most heartbreaking loss in playoff history, is what he said. And I'm like, I don't know what he was smoking, but it's just like, we've had very disappointing exits back when we had a roster that could win. The story is this year we've been punching above our weight because of the miracle work that Troy has been doing, and the boys, like the USL and the 15-year-old men that make up our roster this year. They punched above their weights. They almost pushed Cincinnati game 3. Cincinnati's the Supporters Shield winner.
Right. I mean, in that sense, yeah. Right. It's not like your expectations were low. You didn't expect to win this series. And
maybe I'm speaking for myself.
You snuck into the playoffs. No, I would agree. It's just the details.
Our eyes start right now. And what I mean by that is like we need an off season finally. We haven't had a good off season in a couple of years. We need to the only big signing we've ever had lately is Dante Van Zier, and he had the most bonkers debut year. He started with the racial things, and then he broke his back in the second half of the year. So, I'm not ready to give up on him. I want him to get healthier, and I want him to come back. But New York Red Bulls fans are looking for a little bit of an overhaul and an aggressive offseason. I honestly can't wait for that to start. So that's what we got our eyes on. And if it's going to be another sleepy offseason, then that might be, then I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know if they had a good out. They had a good crowd over the weekend, way better than last year's playoffs. So that's a positive sign.
Yeah, it looked
because
pretty
there was something
lively.
to play for. Yeah, it was pretty. But like, if this season is another sleepy season and you're just waiting for us to punch above our weight and limp into the playoffs again next year, I think the fans are gonna have had enough, because it's like we're close to we're close. The fandom versus and the Red Bulls is close to its deathbed, and it's like this offseason is very important for you to bring in players, and that to me is almost more important than if they had a fluky MLS Cup win this year. You know what I mean? To me, that's how I feel personally. I don't want to speak for the entire fan base, but I would have hated for us to have gone far, because it would have given our owners excuse to keep not spending on the team and keep signing 15-year-olds and 17-year-olds and crap like that. So, you know, that's where I'm at. So to call this a heartbreaking loss, I was just excited people showed up and the team had something to play for again. You know, that's just like, I don't know.
All right. So you're philosophical about it. Okay, I can understand that big picture. It's just like, I don't know. Anyway, PKs are hard. The whole. Well, there's more to talk about, I feel like, in this game. There was well, there's the playoff format. Like, it's sort of weird. The whole, like, you have a tie in game 2, so then you do penalties, and then you lose one team. I mean, even Kindred and Aubin was confused during the game. She was saying how, well, the pressure really is on the Red Bulls to finish this here in front of their home crowd. And I was like, they can't. The best case scenario for them is to get to game 3. So it's all it's all still a little confusing. Anyway, what was going on? What was going on with Matt? What's happening? He was one of yours back in the day. What is going on with Matt Miazga? I mean, he always had the reputation of not being the sharpest tool in the shed, exactly. And I think this was an example of that, perhaps.
Well, we learned that when you get a yellow card during that when the penalties start, the card system resets. That's what we've learned. Because Matt Miazga got 2 yellow cards in that game. He did not get a red card. He did not.
Yeah, but he had a yellow card in a previous game, so he's still going to miss the next game.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Miazga was one of ours, and you know, I've expressed disdain that our club does not go after our alumni when they come back. And he went off to Cincy instead of New York. And, you know, I don't know exactly what happened behind the scenes. Maybe New York tried. And he said no. But seemingly went to Cincy. And then when he scored that penalty, he scored a penalty kick to put them in an advantage. And then he really taunted the fans by pretending to say, I love you, I love you. He was really taunting the fans.
Do you think he was being sarcastic? I think he was sincere in his own.
It shouldn't even be a thing. People on Twitter, it shouldn't even be a thing. You don't step onto a winning penalty and then go blow kisses to the fans without it being an aggressive move.
I think. Well, he got a yellow card for. I mean, the referee took it
because he was egging on the fans, and
I think
it's hilarious because now he's suspect. If I'm Pat Noonan, I'm fucking livid. Right
oh
now.
My God, yes.
Because I hope that Cincinnati, my one Christmas wish this year is Cincinnati gets eliminated by a defensive failure from Matt Miazga's standby, whoever that may be.
So you're a little salty, understandably,
salty.
But I think he was serious. You're not gonna talk me out of that. I think he was trying to be apologetic. I think he was trying to be apologetic in his own like Matt Miazga idiot way. And I don't know.
About? He was. Why did Carlos Cornell and him get in a fight immediately? Why did he get a yellow card? Then how come at the end of the game all the Cincy players went and cheered at the fans?
Well, that's I feel like that's a sort of a separate issue. I was going to ask about that. I mean, there was
a separate issue.
This was all because of
in front of the home fans. You're not allowed to argue that people are throwing crap at you. You're egging them on. It's a fight. Like, welcome to soccer. I don't know what to tell you.
I do not agree with that at all. You don't throw stuff, no matter what happens.
Listen, I'm not I agree. I advocate. I'm not advocating throwing a player. That I agree with. However, it's a giant, full, rowdy crowd. They're egging them on. They're asking for it. You're not allowed
So
to
what
bitch
happened?
complain when someone threw something at
What
you.
is your take on that? I don't know. People were. I haven't watched that much.
My take is, I hope.
Cincinnati.
really,
No, but like, are they just like? Why did they do that? Is that just their thing? Are they being? Are there? Yeah, somebody was saying like they're a classless team, and this is how they do it. I don't know. Is that what it is, or
who's
did the
classless? Who's classless?
Cincinnati as a group?
I mean,
Or did
I
the
don't
or
know,
it's or
but
is the did the fans get under their skin somehow? Was there something specific that happened?
the fans
We
have
don't
gotten
know.
under their skin. I mean, a little column A, a little column B, because they were really rowdy, and it was a rowdy game. It was a playoff game, and the Cincy players were really egging on the fans. And maybe the fans got in their skin. But again, welcome to soccer. It wasn't even a full house. New York Rebels haven't sold out that stadium in years, so like it was a good
Only
crowd.
for
The fans were
Newcastle
loud,
against
but, like,
Brighton.
what's up?
Newcastle against Brighton was sold
Yeah,
out.
the Red Bulls fans weren't there. What I'm saying is, like, so like for Cincinnati not understanding that there's going to be opposing fans, I don't know what to tell you. So it's weird. Cincy was a little cocky about it, so I do hope they get eliminated because they did lack a little class. And fans are allowed to be fans. I don't know, leave them be. And
Can't be throwing stuff on the field. It's no
I
good.
agree, but if you're really, really drunk and the enemy fans who's been like blowing kisses
Really,
at you,
if you're
egging you
really,
on,
really
cheers in
drunk.
front of you, you're allowed to get a beer thrown in your face.
I think
don't
he
know what to
meant
tell
it.
you.
I think he meant it. I'm gonna die on that hill.
You're joking. Stop
I think
it.
Matt
I'm
Miazga
about
in
to
his
throw a beer at your face right now. I'm going to throw a beer at your face right now.
oh.
Over here, a beautiful Paulana, hell from Fuss. Hell from Fuss. Right
Emotions are still raw, even from all the way over there. All right.
Of course. This is, it's just annoying. Because, and then people egg on the New York Red Bulls, and there was some NYCFC douchebag who went to the Red Bull Arena and flipped off the stadium and be like, this team's always trash or something like that. And that became a whole thing.
Wait, what?
There's some NYCFC guy who bought full Cincinnati gear and went to the stadium to root against the Red Bulls for fun. And then he flipped off the stadium stuff. And people are just like, get a life. It's like, I know you root for NYCFC, but he doesn't root for NYCFC. He just wants to root against the New York Red Bulls. Like, that's his fandom. And we're just like, what the hell is this? Go get a life. And apparently he's done that before. He did it like last year. After NYCFC won the title, he had a picture of himself flipping off the stadium or some crap. I don't know. All I know is that the season's over.
All right.
We had the opportunity.
You're not as philosophical as you initially presented yourself. It's my analysis.
I know, but almost what I said. It's like you win 3-0, and then we could tie twice and win in penalties twice. We almost did half of that. We almost did one of those. But the reality is, if we push it to game 3, I would like to have seen a game 3, but since he's good, I'll tell you. Since he has a roster, they got players. So, but yeah, it is unfortunate.
Okay, let me ask you this. In retrospect, being that the PK shootout was so cruel, would you have rather that stoppage time goal would have counted for Cincy?
I'm going to confess something. I didn't see the full second half of this game. So there's been a lot of clamoring from the Red Bulls fans online about a crappy ref, and he missed 3 penalties or something. I wrote 3 or something.
3.
And I haven't gone and looked play by play or like that. But I'm not interested in that. It's always easy to be like, the ref screwed us, man. I'm just like, that's not how that, maybe we had a rough call, whatever. A lot of teams get rough calls. If we wanted to win the game, we could have gone and won the game. And like you said, we had the opportunity. We had, I think, 2 opportunities in those penalties to up. We missed both of them. And then Cincy finished it up. So that's on us. It's not really on the ref. I'm happy with the way it went. I'm happy. The big issue with this is, or the big thing is, I love the fact that the players played with a lot of heart, a lot of belief. Troy did that. Troy did wonders. I'm very happy with Troy. I'm very happy with a lot of the players we have now. A lot of our homegrowns, and I really like Carlos Cornell, But in the offseason, I want to see a little bit of a slash. I could definitely get rid of Luquinhas. I want to upgrade from Tom Barlow. I want, going back to the chat here with Seba S. We need a veteran striker, attacking midfielder option. I would take another center back. We need 3 or 4, 5, screw it, solid veteran players that, not 36-year-olds, just veteran players with proven records to come join the team. Heck, maybe an Emil Forsberg from RB Leipzig's coming this way. I know I'm just making that up, but I'm like, I'll take it. We need that.
Well, Sebas thinks Robert Lewandowski. There was a tweet, some rumblings on Twitter that maybe Robert Lewandowski was ready for America.
Well, what's this for the friend Antoine Griezmann? If he wants to come, he's welcome, despite what I've said.
I don't think so. I think I think you've ruined that for yourself. The disrespect.
I am definitely salty over the Matt Miazga thing. It broke my heart because I like Matt Miazga as a New York Red Bulls player. That broke my heart when he.
I am completely serious. I would invite you to consider that perhaps he meant it.
Why do you even watch the clip? Watch the clip. There's nothing to debate. He's egging on the fans.
He says, "I love you guys. I love you guys."
After he scores,
you can liberate it.
Penalty kick in a knockout game.
I think he has a history of doing this kind of thing. I think I don't think there's no polite way to say it. I don't think he's very smart. And I think he just doesn't quite he doesn't have a sense of himself.
Well, he called out Greg Berhalter once publicly. He said he was an idiot or something for not calling him in. So I know that about him.
He did that thing with he made fun of what's his name? Diego. Anyway, player on the Mexican team Diego Lainez made fun of him for being too short, and
your defense is dying. I just offered examples of why he was egging on the fan. Those are two, like when Matt Miazga comes out publicly on something, he's being very offensive and negative towards something.
Well, okay.
Him making a display with the fans, that's him screwing with the fans. Him kissing the fans is his modern day version of him doing this for Lainez, being like, "You're too short." He's screwing with him. And he got suspended for it. Now he can't play the home game. Ha ha ha. I hope they lose. And I hope Matt Miazga should have been there, and the ball went through his legs and out the back. He's like, I don't know. I just hope Cincy gets knocked out now. I'm now voting against Cincy.
All right,
that's my philosophical stance.
Okay,
what's going on?
Vanni Zartini was very salty after the LAFC game. He said that we did not have a fair chance. Well, it was a pretty chaotic end of the game. LAFC was leading and they had won the first game. And then there was a corner kick. The Vancouver goalie came up. And then basically the referee kind of blocked one of Vancouver's players inadvertently.
Oh, I saw that.
There was sort of a ricochet, and then the referee got into the player's way, and then LAFC had a counterattack and scored on the empty goal because the goalie had gone up. But then that didn't end up counting because of offside. But Vanni was still upset because I don't know. I guess he felt like they were robbed I mean, I guess they were sort of. You don't know, is the guy going to get to the ball? Like, there's a lot of question marks, of course.
Well, the rules are if the referee touches the ball or whatever, doesn't have to whistle and stop.
Yeah, but he didn't touch the ball. He just touched the guy.
But shouldn't that be an example of that too? Shouldn't there? Or maybe it's not.
Well, that was Vanni's opinion. He said if the referee touches the ball, he has to stop the game. But it's not, but the rule is not.
What I said about the New York Red Bulls, if you lose, it's ref time, right? It's always to the refs. Is that moment literally the reason why LAFC and
No, I think that's what I was getting at. I think that's a little, it's like, sore
LAFC
losers.
were
I mean,
favorites.
it's always, everything's the ref's fault. Yeah.
So far, I think only one series has been pushed to the third game. That's the Dallas-Seattle series. Sporting Kansas City eliminated St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis is done. Yeah.
And their dream
after having a very successful regular season, then kind of collapsed at the last second.
Welcome to MLS, baby. It's like you guys had fun, and they're like the new fans that everyone has to bring in.
And
like, welcome to MLS. You can.
And Kansas City got hot. Kansas City, I heard on the broadcast, Kansas City is the best team in MLS since May 1st.
Oh, good starting
May 1st, they have the most points. I didn't know that. That's pretty good. That's respectable. So this is no that's no fluke. Stat. So this is not necessarily, it's a surprising stat. So this is not necessarily on St. Louis. Then it's just they ran into a hot team.
Well, Klaus was not gifted any goals this time. That's over.
That ended quickly. That was it gave him a little head start, but then Sebas,
what are your thoughts on
Sebas thinks Sporting Kansas City are going to make the finals? Yeah, I mean, I think definitely possible. The West is wide open. What are my thoughts?
We'll go real quick. Going back to the chat, Seb S says Red Bulls needs to sign big stars to be in Miami. Those days are over. I don't think Red Bulls going to do that. I mean, if they did, I'd be all for it. Like, I would love for Antoine Griezmann to come by. Don't get me wrong, or Robert Lewandowski. I'll take them both.
Either, both of them.
But but the reality is, I want guys like, we would link with Yusuf Poulsen. I want guys like that. That's who we need. We need guys like that. Guys like Edward Leuven and Roman Berkey. We need guys like that. So what are your thoughts on who won the MVP? Was that Greek or was he newcomer of the year?
Newcomer of the year, Yanis
Gakimakis.
Atlanta guy.
He won it over guys like Roman Berkey and Verloves. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, scorers always win in these awards over goalies. That's just how it works. I don't know. I don't pay a ton of attention to these kinds of things. It's a team sport. I don't know. I mean, I don't really care, I guess, who gets these awards. Newcomer of the year. Like, what's that even mean? Messi's the newcomer of the year. I mean,
was going to say it's Messi.
It's but they can't. I mean, he doesn't have any stats, but like, he's the most influential. He's
newcomer of the league history. He's like the newcomer of the past 30 seasons or whatever. Yeah.
Somebody was there was a little bit of controversy about that on Twitter and about how I think Messi was nominated for newcomer of the year, and then people or somehow some people voted for him, but the rules apparently are specific. Like, it has to be things that you accomplished on the field in MLS, like Leagues Cup doesn't count, and so in that sense, obviously, you can't give it to him.
Yeah, I think Lionel Messi, when he had his Ballon d'Or speech in UEFA or FIFA or whatever the heck that is, he was saying, "This is nice and all, but I felt wronged when I did not win the MLS Newcomer of the Year award. That's the award I really wanted this year over this dumb Ballon d'Or." I think that's what he said.
Yeah. No, it was surprising. I mean, so I guess he does care about it. Yeah.
And then 90% of the players raise their hands and they're like, "What's MLS? What are you talking about?"
Right. No, I mean, I don't pay attention to that either. The Ballon d'Or, or like, I don't, who cares? Like, I don't know. I have my favorites, and they usually don't get awards, but it's I don't know, whatever.
You're right. I probably could name 0 awards from ever. Like, I know BWP won the scoring title.
Yeah, Golden Boot. Golden Boot is good, I guess. Although that's also, sometimes if you count penalties, some people take penalties, others don't. So it's always a little apples and oranges. And yeah, but okay.
Hans Wolf's in the chat.
Hello,
Wolf
Hans.
from Las Vegas. What's going on in Las Vegas? I hear they're
Las
watching on
Vegas
Las
Lights.
Vegas.
He's talking about Las Vegas Lights.
Yeah, but the right now what's going on in Las Vegas is Formula One is sort of wrecking everything. Like I was there a couple months ago, and Formula One, like the whole Bellagio fountain has been emptied, and there's building. Oh no, the Venetian fountain is emptied, and maybe both Bellagio. And they built giant grandstands in front of everything. And then they're putting tape. You know how Las Vegas Strip is full of all those glass bridges you can walk over or whatever. They taped all of them so you can't see because they don't want people sneaking on those bridges during the race and watching the race.
Oh, without tickets, God forbid.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
When is that happening? Is that this weekend?
Soon. It's in November somewhere. So at some point this month. I don't know, Hans, maybe you know. But Hans, glad you had a fun trip in Vegas at Cashman Field. If you haven't had a chance, a year or two ago, they had this weird viral event where a helicopter dropped a bunch of
dollars. I mean, yeah, they have a good marketing.
Is it?
The Las Vegas Lights, yeah.
But Seba S actually brings up something I want to talk about. It actually reminded it to me. Seba S says, should the New York Red Bulls go and sign Cedric Touscher from Bundesliga 2 or $2 million, I think it'd be a good player. Yeah, I think Bundesliga 2 and Bundesliga 3 is an excellent place to scout. Absolutely. I mean, guys like Hani Mukhtar, and that's their sort of roots, pretty much. Hani Mukhtar coming from the Hertha youth squad and then off to Denmark or something, and then he was an amazing player. But I went to a Bundesliga 2 game on Saturday. I went to Nuremberg versus Schalke. And real quick, I didn't want to bring that up for a certain reason, but I just want to do the rundown. Sorry. Did Houston play Real Salt Lake already? Or is that happening now, or when was that?
That's happening now.
What's happening right now? Do we have a score on that?
We will in a second. It's 0-0, 25 minutes in.
But if Houston wins, they also 2 and done. There's no third game from them.
They also played very well. I mean, they are also a contender. They've been good.
And now Phillies tomorrow, or when's Philly?
Phillies on Wednesday. Tomorrow we have Atlanta against Columbus and Nashville against Orlando. And yeah, it's the same for everybody except St. Louis, who are now out. The home team won the first game in all the remaining series. And then, but the big event is on Friday night. Noche d'Or.
Oh.
Noche d'Or, Stefan.
Oh, yeah.
You will not keep Messi away from playoff content. MLS was like, we got to get this guy in.
My season's over, but your season is quietly
Our season, we're part of Noche d'Or. Miami was like, who are these chumps that gave up that late set piece equalizer? Get them back.
Yeah, like China wasn't interested. You know what's funny about that China tour? When David Beckham signed with MLS, they did that too. The first thing was they did a big China tour, and it was a total failure because an exact quote from one of the fans over there, whoever, was just like, "Galaxy are not Real Madrid," was like the quote. Because like they had this big tour. David Beckham went to Asia, and they expected these full stadiums, and no, like 10 to 15,000 fans at most of these friendlies. And they flew all over Asia for that for like 2 months. And it's just funny. I thought they learned from their mistakes, but no, when Messi came, like, let's do it again, 2.0. And thank God China canceled because I'm sure due to low ticket sales. I mean, why did they not? Inter Miami is not Barcelona. So,
and they were like, how can we make up for this? Oh, we can play the Giants of New York City FC. And I mean, honestly, I was kind of, when I heard about this, so I don't know if we're being clear. Noche d'Or is something that MLS cooked up last second. Inter Miami is going to play New York City FC for a friendly.
In the middle of the playoffs.
In the middle of the playoffs. I mean, we're both out, so we're none of our, these teams are not doing anything. This is not getting into anyone's way. We got somewhat of a full roster, I guess. We can find 11 guys to go. I don't know. I thought this would have been. I have no time to go, but I've never been to Miami. I was like, this would be fun. This would be kind of it wouldn't be like this like $2,000 a ticket kind of thing. It'd be sort of a low key way to see a little bit of Messi and see my own team play in Miami. I don't know. It sounded kind of fun. I'll definitely watch it on. I mean, I watch all of our games. If they stream a preseason split squad friendly against the Kitman's family, I'll watch it. But yeah, anyway, Nochador is on Friday.
Well, going back to I the bonkers. Typical MLS.
Okay.
They have a friendly.
Houston has a lead now at RSL.
Okay, I'm predicting Houston to also do well this postseason.
As am I.
But I'm curious. Dallas pushed Seattle to Game 3. I'm wondering. I'm curious. No other team has done that yet. We're still waiting on the other Game 3s. Houston, like I said, is in my opinion favored if want to finish it in Game 2, and then Philly, I hope finishes in Game 2.
Why do you hope that? Oh, because they're in your new team, your new second.
No, I'm not rooting for Philly. I'm rooting against New England. I'm still salty.
Oh, because of the Shakespearean betrayal of Bruce Arena by his assistants, who are also not working there anymore. Like it's all okay. Well, yeah.
I want New England gone. But anyway, so I went to Nuremberg.
Well, that we should talk about in hour 2. No.
Well, real quick. The only reason I'm bringing that up is because, and so remind me, is because the whole time I was like, this is what MLS is striving to be. This is MLS's ideal scenario, is what's happening right here, right now. And the reason I say that is because the game on the field was a very MLS quality game, right? It was not. I was watching an MLS game. It was two teams going at each other. It was three sloppy goals. They couldn't string a third pass without being intercepted. You know what I mean? It's what I know from MLS. This is an MLS quality game. MLS is Bundesliga 2 quality. However, I was sitting in front of a packed 50,000 fans in a full Max Morlock stadium. They were yelling and screaming and into every little moment. And at the very end, the 89th minute of Schalke scored the winning goal and silenced the whole stadium. Guy in front of me took his stuff, stood up and left. Right then and there. The minute that goal happened, he just took his crap and he walked right out of the stadium. And I looked at that and being like, this is what MLS is like trying to become. This is what it is. Because the quality of play is the same. Now, granted, these are old traditions clubs. They've had the grandfathers rooted from the great-grandfathers. That's the difference, obviously. MLS still building that. But a big-ass, full stadium just like this of people cheering and doing that, that's like MLS's dream. That's what they're striving for. MLS HQ, I'd put a poster of that on our wall and be like, this is what it's about. We need to do this. We need to figure this out. And that's just a little epiphany moment I have. That's all. That's all I was going to say. Because, there's the whole, I guess I have a little more to say. There's that whole, like, we need big stars, and MLS is a joke. It's not Barcelona, Real Madrid, and pa. But no one in that stadium gave a shit that it wasn't Real Madrid versus Barcelona.
Yeah, but it's
they were just rooting for their clubs. It was Nuremberg and Schalke. Those were their clubs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's apples and oranges. I think they have that many people because it is an old, is an old tradition, And
yeah, but MLS
like we've been talking about. Yeah, and I think MLS has learned those lessons to some extent. I think that is what they've ended up with. I think I don't know whenever they came up with a strategic plan or whatever. I think this is something that they realized that it's the players are not necessarily it. The big names are not it. It's the experience at the game and the local, and that's what makes the difference. So I think they are learning. They're learning those lessons to some extent.
Yeah, I just think it's just the whole idea of being like, oh, MLS, I don't watch it. It's such poor quality. I only watch the Prem. I think that's a big red herring. I think there's nothing. I don't think there's.
It's like, support your local team. It's always right. The quality thing I don't buy either. It's always exciting when you care. If if you decide to care, that's when it's exciting. When my 5-year-old son was playing, I was fully engaged. It's not like the quality was so great, but like, it's like
How many passes
if you decide to care, then you care. Like that's all it is. It's like no, I agree with that. I think it's not there. And I mean, we've seen this, and the big names can work in the opposite direction, in a way. It then sort of diminishes credibility in the sense, because then you're like, oh, this person's over the hill, or they're not, or everybody else is so terrible that it's like, and the haters are gonna hate. Like, you're not gonna convince anybody. Oh my god, what's happening? What are we doing?
Battery's dying. I gotta change positions here. Oh. So don't mind me.
I thought you were doing some kind of a bit. It looked very threatening there for a second. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I agree. It's like those are the teams where it doesn't matter whether they're in the first. A lot of people still show up even when teams are in the second division. And I think that would not necessarily be the case in America. In America, people are used to. It's just a different cultural thing. In there's also this, like, it's not so much about the playoffs. It's not so much about like building towards something. It's just this thing, the way it's like part of your life. You like on the weekend, you go to see your team, and it doesn't matter what league they're in, or if they're first division, second division, you go to see them, and it's sort of part. That's where you meet with your friends or whatever, and it's just part of your life. It's not like this, oh, we're building, the American way of sports is kind of geared towards gathering more people as you go. Like, a regular season starts, and then people don't, some people watch, and then as things become more and more, then the playoffs, more people watch, then it's the Super Bowl or whatever it is. That's where everybody tunes in. So it's
know what's happening in Germany right now?
You're talking about that NFL game that was just there?
Oh yeah. There's NFL fans everywhere. And I'm an idiot because I don't follow NFL too closely. It's a real game. I thought this was preseason.
Yeah, it's a real game.
This is the middle of the season.
Yeah, I think
it's a real game.
Yeah, no, it's a real game. They do this now. They have a few of those now. I mean, it's been going on for years. They used to have NFL Europe, and that was kind of a big deal.
I remember that. In Germany.
And I'm not exactly even sure. I'm not a big NFL, certainly not expert. I'm not barely even watch it these days. But like, yeah, there was NFL Europe, and they stopped that for whatever reason, and so I think this is now the
who used to be an executive at NFL Europe, right?
Who used to be what?
The guy who ran NFL Europe. You know who that is, right?
Don Garber.
Yep, Don Garber. Essentially, he's doing the inverse. He's like, he sold American sports to Europe. Let's sell European sports in America. So I went to my dream bar again yesterday.
The dream bar. Is it real? You sent a picture, so it must be real.
However, the reason I brought it up is because the bar was split right down the middle. I was in the soccer half, but the football half was packed. And I felt like I was at an Applebee's. I was like, look at this. Look at all these fans in their Kansas City gear.
Yeah, the American sports have gained much traction in Germany for sure. My little brother is here. My little brother, actually, as we speak, he's visiting not the Munich brother, the other brother.
Right.
The
Munich brother, by the way, is a big fan of the fact that the Texas Rangers just won, or whoever, the Houston Texans or whoever just won the World Series.
The Texas Rangers, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's a big playoff baseball guy, my brother. Yeah, it's another evidence for, like, when I was in Germany before I came, like, nobody was watching baseball. It was definitely some little bit of football. Super Bowl was a thing that you sort of knew was happening. I watched a fair amount of NBA games.
Right.
When I was a projectionist and I got home late, that's what was on TV. So, but no baseball, zero baseball in Germany.
Baseball is the most American of all the American sports.
It's very, it does. It's not, So, but my brother now likes, but anyway, my little brother's, as we speak, attending a Brooklyn Nets basketball game against the Milwaukee Bucks. And he's he's a big basketball guy and is excited to go see them live. And so, that's definitely a thing. It's like, but there is sort of, now people have these ideas of like, because these are the best leagues in the world. And so that's why people pay attention. That's why the Premier League is now more watched than anything else, because it is presumably the best league. And so, that's more of a thing. And that than it used to be, where in the olden days, it was just like, you support your local team and whatever. If they're playing in the regional league, that's one thing. If they play in the Bundesliga, also good. So it's a cultural shift, and that doesn't work in MLS's favor necessarily. But
I am curious what's going to happen here in Germany over the next few years. I don't know. I'm not much. I don't think, because I'm wondering if this American sports craze here
is going to take over
Germany starts to influence the Bundesliga a little bit. I know the old Bundesliga chef toyed with the idea of a playoff system, and that was not super popular. But I would not be a fan of it, but I think
my sense, and this is the same in MLS too, my sense is the more you try to go after or pander to people, the less successful that's going to be. I think you just got to do your thing. But I don't know. It's not an easy situation. There's a lot of competition in terms of entertainment. And so it's always pressure to evolve. I have one more thing to talk about.
Phil Neville.
Bit of a head scratcher, no? On every.
What I will say about Phil Neville is that I love his work as an analyst. He's been a guest analyst since he's been fired. And he's been on MLS. He's been on some podcasts. He's been on some MLS broadcasts. Have you seen any of his stuff, his analyst stuff?
Can't say that I have. No.
It's great. I really, really liked Phil, and I was hoping that Phil Neville would be the Gary Neville of American soccer, and but now he went straight into coaching. So he's back in the coaching again. But
his dad's name is Neville. Neville,
and his children's name is Harvey. I think, right? Anyway, Phil is a great analyst, and I wish he would stay an analyst. But unfortunately, he's at Portland Timbers. I don't know, more power to him. It seems like for a lot of these guys, like we just saw with Wayne Rooney, like the day after he was fired by DC United, he became a coach in England. It seems like it doesn't really matter how well they do here. They just need the job. They just need a year or two of it on their resume, then off to Europe they can go. So I don't know exactly how much better Portland's going to be under Phil Neville. In Miami, we're looking okay for a bit. I don't know. I mean, who else should they?
Hire? What? Who else should they hire? There's nobody else. It's only Phil Neville available.
Well, I know. I'm not. I'm just curious. Like,
I don't know. Listen. I'm bad at predicting these things. I thought Ben Olsen was going to be terrible in Houston.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Did, though.
Who knows? Like, who knows? But I didn't think Phil Neville was necessarily going to get a job again immediately. I didn't think he had been that successful. And the Portland fans were upset because I guess he tweeted some vaguely misogynist, like some misfiring jokes about women years ago. And I don't think you should never work again because you say something stupid on Twitter. I don't know. Like that's
well, Frank Lampard made fun of all the 9/11 victims. It did not stop him from getting signed by NYCFC. So if he survives that,
made fun of the 9/11. What did he say about the 9/11 victims? I did not know this.
We talked about this before, haven't we?
Have we?
Frank, when all the 9/11, when all the Americans were stranded at the airport on 9/11, he made fun of them during the terrorist attacks. It's just like, ha, Americans. Like he put a little video on Twitter at the time.
What? Okay.
You don't know any of this? That's why when he was signed by NYCFC, the only reason I know this is because people at NYCFC did not want him because he tweeted because he was very offensive towards 9/11 victims.
Oh, interesting. I did
But
not
it
know
didn't
this.
bother MLS is like tough. It's Frank Lampard, and on he came. So if he can survive that, then I think Phil Neville can survive a little. I don't know what he wrote, but
well, I mean, it's very on brand, I think, for the Portland fan base to even be like, "Oh, he has a history of sexism." It's like, okay, all right, like relax. But
I think my you know who my choice would have been?
Gio Savarese,
Michael Bradley.
Michael Bradley's going to be is working for his dad. He's an assistant.
And Stabæk, I say skip that. Michael straight to the head
Bob
coach.
Bradley, who I'm generally not a fan of, confronted the fans of his own team over some racist behavior this weekend, which I give him props for.
Yeah, I don't.
Giving his fans a talking to. I didn't, because a lot of it was in Danish with only some of it translated, so I didn't fully.
Oh, this is in Norway.
Yeah.
Norway.
Or wherever, wherever he is.
Oh, yeah.
Some Scandinavian. I mean, whatever. Yeah. But
I didn't see it in this edition of Kicker. No, I missed it.
No, this was recently. Anyway, but props to him. And Michael is gonna be his assistant. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. Portland. We'll see. I have yet another thing to talk about. Gotham FC. Gotham FC is in the final.
That's right.
Gotham FC, very exciting game. I watched it, and Katie Stengel with a banger at the defending champions. Speaking of Portland, this was at the Portland Thorns, same stadium we won MLS Cup in. They have Portland teams have trouble with New York City, with New York teams in the playoffs.
Aren't they? So how? I guess I'm confused. I thought they were going to play Portland in the final. Is that true or is that not true?
No, they're going to play the OL Reign. OL Reign.
But it's in San Diego.
It's in San Diego, yeah, because they're the high. No, it's not. It's in San Diego.
I guess I saw this information wrong. I was tweeted yesterday. A guy texted me. He's like, "Gotham's in the final. They're playing Portland in San Diego." And so I guess he was wrong because what you're telling me does not.
Gotham is in the final. They're playing OL Reign and they're playing in Seattle because that's where OL Reign is from. Yeah, no, they don't play because they do the higher seeded team. I mean, Gotham was lowest seeded team, so they weren't going to host. And OL Reign is going to. No, I don't think so. So it's Ali Krieger and Megan Rapinoe's final game against each other in the final. And Gotham was last at the end of last season and went to the final. Very good. Also it was a banger of a goal, but also a really impressive performance. Very good press.
Wait a minute, I'm more confused. Hans, is it in Snapdragon Stadium?
It's not.
All right. Okay. So it's in Seattle. You're 100% confirmed about that.
I mean, by the internet, yeah.
Then okay, good. I don't know because Hans Wolf's saying also Snapdragon. Although maybe he's just repeating what I'm saying because I do like Snapdragon a lot. And if that's Snapdragon, I can go to it, which is why I'm like I can go maybe take a trip and go see it. Yeah. Oh, good for them. That's good for This is a good opportunity for.
Oh no! Hold on, you are correct. Wait a second. This is now. I just saw Lumen Field on Google, but now here it is: the 2023 NWSL Championship. Number 4 OL Reign will face first-time finalist number 6 Gotham FC, and San Diego Wave FC will serve as the host at Snapdragon Stadium of the 2023 NWSL Championship. Why do they do that? There's not going to be anybody be it.
Well, good for them. Maybe they can sell it. We'll see. I'll be there. Hans, if you'll be there, let me know. Excellent. It's a great stadium. MLS used to do that back in the day. I don't know why they switched it.
Why are they doing that? Because the Seattle stadium is too big.
Neutral makes sense. MLS used to do that, but then they switched it to higher seated. I guess because probably helped out attendances a little bit. But to me, it makes more sense. Like if LAFC versus Philly were at a neutral venue last year, it would have been a different game. I think.
Tickets starting at $25.
That's what I'm talking about. That's 100% what I'm talking about. I will perhaps attend that game. So might be a schnitzel boy on the ground. Hans, if you're there, let me know and grab a beer or something. Seba S. We will talk about mines in the second hour.
Notchador starts at $85. So this is where we're at.
But if Messi is there,
speaking of equal in terms of equal pay, the NWSL final starts at $25 and absolutely meaningless friendly, just cooked up a couple days ago. It's 85 and up.
Hey, the marketing guys, that's how it works. But the Gotham City in the final might be a good way to snap up some Red Bulls and NYCFC fans who are missing some soccer and the New York soccer team.
I've been all over them. Like the NWSL playoffs are blink and you miss it because it's been three rounds. And so Gotham is gonna, if they win this, they were the last team to get in, number 6 seed. Through 3 games in a row, they can win the title. So
that's what we can agree on. Gotham can be a great unifier between the Red Bull and NYCFC.
So Hans Wolf, you're going to travel to San Diego for this? Respect. That's awesome.
Hundo P. We also missed a little bit of your Vegas stuff here. Yeah, I asked for if it was all right to ask why they stopped throwing money from the helicopter. They said they didn't want to stop. The FAA stops the helicopter stuff. The FAA told them to stop having helicopters fly over the field in Vegas and dropping dollar bills. Oh, that FAA. That FAA.
They're just no fun.
A little insight, by the way, from your brother Bjorn, who I talked to about his flight training and his flight experience. He spent a month flying in the United States. Now he's flying here in Germany. And he's saying the big difference is the flight towers. In California, they're like now it's like very high stress and efficient, and now is your time for your call thing and blah blah blah. In Germany, it's like, hey, how you doing, bud? And they have a conversation, and the flight tower is kind of lonely in Germany, and it's way more laid back. So in Germany, you could probably fly a helicopter over the stadium, drop dollar bills, and they wouldn't mind.
They would be okay with it. Okay,
it wouldn't be FAA stuff. So anyway, do we have anything else in the American soccer sphere as foes?
I think that might be it. I think we've done it.
Excellent. I am in Germany. We will talk German stuff. I was on German TV over the weekend.
All right.
Show. So we'll talk about that for a little bit. And,
let's hear it.
See us over the other stream. Tschüss.
Tschüss.